Welcome. Starting over so that I'm just trying to make sure that everything's going through because my confidence that it is low. Um, so very good. All right, it's coming through. Okay. So I was talking before I had to restart. I was talking about the fact that I had posted a I'd posted a video, and I won't show the video. I guess I won't re-show it. I guess. So anyway, so I posted a video about how um, Elon Musk, the investor in turn the damn music down. Yeah, it's down. It's off. Anyway, Elon Musk uh, did what he did. It was for some of us, we it's a Roman hello for some. Um, and I got to thinking about it. There was a lot of comments about it that were simply off the chain, like making now you can't hear me? I don't understand. The number of complications we're going through today is starting to frustrate. Oh, if this continues, I may just shut off the let's see. Why is that music still running? It's not supposed to be. Okay, fixed it. Is that's better now. Sorry. Look, your frustration is my frustration at this point. Okay, start again. Welcome to the All About Nothing podcast, kind of daily show. It is Saturday morning, January the 25th, and we are live right now. We're on, thank you, Arwana. Um, we are live on TikTok and Facebook and Instagram, and I think we are. Oh, I don't think we are live on Instagram yet until I hit the button. This is this is the state of things. So, welcome everybody to a Saturday morning where I'm basically just doing a thing here. Before I started and then stopped and then started again, and then stopped again. Um, we I posted some content this week, specifically about the Elon Musk throwing out the Roman hello for some people that get offended very easily, and and it was eh, the idea is that morning Jane. The idea was trying to get people to acknowledge that if it's something they're not willing to do, then the possibility is that maybe it's not something that Elon Musk should have done on stage. And a number of comments were just, I get that they can't see past their own party, and I've had their Democrats on that on the side of that too. It's just a fact. Um, R1 says, been a public figure his entire life. He knows exactly what he did, bro. Yeah, I agree. I know that he knows what he did because we have seen him throw out his heart before by doing one of these maneuvers. And he described it exactly as that. He was throwing out his heart. Um, so so I issued a challenge to the individuals out there that have the comments about how, that's not what he was doing. The Roman holo. Scott's asking me if that's what it makes me. I don't know. I don't do Nazi salutes. Um it's not something I do, and it's not something I'm willing to do. It's not something I've ever had an urge to do. Um, Dang, 9 have been banned. All right, Yahtzee salutes. Sorry. so so anyway, so I issued a challenge to people that were uh, defending uh, Elon Musk about the fact that They were defending him on the account that they thought that it was okay for Elon to do it. And it's based on that, I issued a challenge to say, if you are comfortable with him doing it, then go into your place of work, go into a McDonald's or a Starbucks, and rather than greeting someone with a hello or with a handshake, do exactly what Elon did. Go ahead and throw your arm out there like Elon did. Do the exact same maneuver and record it and start posting yourself doing it. Um, and ultimately, there were no takers. There wasn't a single person that responded to my video or my comment with their action. And ultimately, I think it's because in the back of their head, they recognize that there is a there's a discomfort in doing something like that, um, and there should be. Mrs. Freeze says, "I still can't believe we're even having this conversation. It's a sad day for true Americans." Yeah, and what's crazy is, some of what I've seen of some of the comments people are trying to make is that, well, Tim Walls did it. All they see is this image of Tim's hand extended out, or his arm extended out, but you don't see his hand. And they did that on purpose. It was cropped in a way to make it look as though he was doing it, but then when you expand out from that cropping, you see that his hand is flat, like he's waving at the crowd. They showed one of Kamala Harris saying that that's what she was doing, but again, it was a cropped image of her also waving to the crowd, not the same motion. There is not, you cannot draw an equivalence between what Elon Musk did and what uh, these people are accusing Democrats of doing. And my suspicion is you will very likely not find any videos or actual images of any of those Democrats doing that. And I realize I'm drawing a line, but you're not going to find it. It's just not. You are not honestly going to find it. It's just not going to happen. And you won't find. You will not find one of Republicans, like actual American loving Republicans doing it. Pan Von P says, "I am half German. Dad immigrated to the U.S. My German's family still doesn't talk about World War II. There's a lot of feelings about that. Yeah, for sure. It's actually illegal to do that. To do what Elon Musk did in Austria and in Germany, illegal, finable if you are caught, or if you are accused and found to have done it. And like I said, you will not find Democrats doing it in this country. Uh, you will not find true patriotic Republicans doing it in this country, but you will find fascist extremists, individuals that are, and you'll find fascists doing it, but uh, you'll find people that are doing it just to try and which is essentially, and I'll completely admit it, I think, they Elon Musk probably did it in the sense that he was hoping that it would get the attention that it got. We're not talking, I mean, I get it. Yes, he is autistic, and I am not going to put any pressure on that. I'm not going to that is not an excuse. There are people all over the world who are on the spectrum, and they are kind, unbelievably intelligent, probably more intelligent than me, that are socially awkward, but they are good, good people. And what Elon Musk did was, he is loving the fact that there is such a dramatic focus on him, and he doesn't seem to recognize, or he doesn't seem to care just how much of that focus is from a negative point. You know, he thinks he's just owning the libs, which is really crazy because up until, 2.5 years ago, not even that far off, like a year ago, Elon Musk was one of the libs being owned. You know, this isn't this isn't something that he's been all his life. Now, think about it. He he's he bought into a car company that literally makes electric cars with the intent of saving the environment. Now, I'm not certain they're doing it exactly the right way. I don't have an engineering background, so I don't really know. But they're still using lithium batteries that destroy the environment on the mining of the lithium. But that was always his thing. He was always this guy that was trying to better the environment through these Tesla EV cars. Um, SpaceX. SpaceX is the whole idea behind SpaceX is the progression of human evolution. We started here on the Earth, and the next step forward is space exploration. It's literally what SpaceX is. So again, that's a progressive progress. This is a liberal idea. Whether you're a Republican or Democrat, this is a liberal idea, not liberal in definition of a political, but it's liberal arts, English, math, literature. Those are liberal arts because it's a progress of human evolution, showing going from no communication to writing on cave walls to writing in books and telling stories and communication. It's all designed as a progress forward. So Elon Musk was always a progressive. I don't know what changed him, except that ultimately I think that between two I think money. I think ultimately the fact that he, as you know only a few months away from being a trillionaire on paper. Um, I think that potentially is what changed him. Is I think that's potentially what changed him. Sorry, I'm looking at some of the comments in the TikTok. Um, so it's the same. I guess I have the same emotion towards Elon Musk and that reaction that I have towards what he did on stage is disgust. It's not something that I can accept. I can't do what some of my Republican brothers and sisters are doing and saying it's okay. He can do that on stage because he's Elon Musk, or he's doing it at our event. Um, being completely hypocritical of how that would have come across to them if they if it had been done at a Kamala Harris rally. It shouldn't be okay to be done at any rally or any event in the United States. We literally fought the Yahtzees to save the planet. And now a symbol of what it is that was a sign of what I don't even know what to describe it as, because it wasn't really a sign of love, because the German Yahtzee brass was always sending their troops in to basically as foot soldiers to die. So, but they had to do it to the brass. Um, So ultimately, I know I'm not going to get any takers on people replicating what it is that Elon Musk did. I know they're not going to, because they will not put their actions where their loyalty is. They won't do it. So my expectations are low. Um, and my expectations are low that many of the people on the right are really going to say anything about it, because I'll just be frank. If a Democrat or a liberal had done it at an event, um 100% I'd speak out about it. I'd say that that one symbol for me has would have killed my any sort of respect for that individual. Doesn't matter who it was. And for those of you looking for the punchline, no, Joe Biden couldn't do it. He can't lift his arms that high. It's just a fact. I'm not sure who Rapid 69 is, but or who he's talking to. Sorry, Shelly. Shell. Tim Walz didn't do it. You have fallen for uh, the magic of cropping. So you ought to look that up. So just go into the comments here. Um, I can't remember who it was, but somebody told me to stop acting on my feelings. Um, what else? What else is there? The reaction to virtually everything that goes on with conservatives is all based on feelings. It's they like to hold this moral, or this non-moral or non-emotional high ground of saying that uh that it's all based on business, and it's all based on or it's based on these things that don't have any relation uh to emotions or feelings. And yet Elon Musk, when he was completely amped up on his emotions, threw out a salute. There's your feelings. There's your emotions. Donald Trump, and don't get super sensitive about this, but Donald Trump's reaction to everything is because he thinks that he's a victim of everything. That is an emotional response. Donald Trump's all caps tweets on True Social, those are emotional responses. He's wrapped up in his feelings. And I understand you're probably going to ignore this, and you're probably going to say, no, there's no way. That's not what's going on. You aren't having an emotional response to what I've said to try and express what it is that's going on. It's all emotional responses. If that's just what it is, whether it's the right or the left, it's all emotional responses. And the fact that you deny that emotion means that you're really suppressing it. If you accept that it's an emotional response, I'm sorry, Shell. I, I tell you what, Shell, you come back in a comment with the video of him doing it. I will go look at it. I'll pull it up, and I will prove to you that Tim Walz did not throw out the same thing that Elon Musk did. And I hate that. I hate that you're so trapped in that environment that you can't see it. Because if you go and you look, if you pull that image up and then you match it up against the video that's actually there, you'll see. And whoever showed that to you, shame on them. The fact that they were trying to manipulate you because they didn't think you were smart enough to actually do the research on your own. That is sad. That person hates you. That person does not like you. That person thinks you're a fool. Whether it was the person that they received it from thinks they're the fool, or on up the line, the person that shared it the first time thinks that every single person below them that they convinced to believe that is a fool, and they are not your friends. I am sorry. I think that's one of the I think that's one of the most disappointing things about this whole division is that it works so well for both the Democrats and the Republicans to continue to divide the people of this country based on some of the most unnecessary issues. That is that is the most disappointing thing. And ultimately, you know, I don't think it's all of the Democrats. I don't think it's all of the Republicans that want this division. I think that for the most part, the ones that are actually representing us would really like for us not to be divided, that they would like for us to actually come together, which would allow them to come together, which means that they could then do work. But there are an elite, and I know some of you probably get tired of hearing the words oligarch, but there are an elite group that want us to be divided because it's good for sales. it's good for it's good for it's good for business. And Shell, I'm sorry, it's the Republicans too. Literally, you're fighting me right now on something that I'm trying to enlighten you to, and you won't go and do it. You won't go and actually enlighten yourself, educate yourself on what it is that you're making an accusation of. Because if you do, you'll find out that the person that convinced you that what they wanted to convince you of, it's going to cause a reaction. You're going to potentially not trust that person next time they tell you something. So they've lost part of the trust that you had in them because they convinced you of something that now you have learned for yourself is not true. I am simply telling you, you can take control of this yourself. We all can. There is there is no amount of knowledge that we can't get ourselves. We don't have to count on other people to give it to us because the likelihood is that they're trying to mislead you. And in this case, Shells, you've been misled. And I'm simply asking you just to take a step through the door and go look for yourself. Either that or don't fight me on it and just move along. It's the best thing you can do. I see Paul Pelosi's boyfriend, so I assume I know what side of the fence he's on, is throwing out a telephone number for the ICE tip line. Well, welcome, sir. Uh, Shells, I tell you what, throw the link in of the video of him doing it. Send me the link. You can DM the link to me, the All About Nothing podcast. You can DM the link to my personal account, and I will take a look at that video because uh, at this point now you're lying to everyone else on here. And as long as you keep doing that, you're making the job for those people that want to keep us divided. Uh, you're keeping you are you are doing exactly what they're doing. So congratulations. You've joined a chat trying to express that that because Tim Walz did it, essentially what you're saying, it's okay for Elon to say it. No, I don't know you. You do have a reason to lie. You've come into a chat basically as an anonymous person and told a falsehood. There is not a video that exists of Tim Walz doing what Elon Musk did. So I'm sorry. And I hate that you're incapable of moving past that. So there's always got to be one, right? um, if the world workforce walked out on their jobs for a week, what would happen? Um, in truth, I don't think that it would have the effect that that we think that we would like for it to have. I don't think that we would see I don't think we would see the effect that we hope it would have, because ultimately, um, there is way too much control by corporations. Um, so I guess just to continue on that a little bit. Um, so let's say we did. Let's say we all walked out on our jobs, or the people that worked for companies that have a, uh, I guess, the potential. Uh, I guess the companies that have the potential of having a negative effect, or that they are. I, I don't know. That's a hard one to do. Um, because there's always been those rumors, or those hints, or whatever, of, let's say for the month of February, we were to not if we were to if we as an entire society were to decide that uh if we were to decide that the on the Fridays of February, that we were not to buy gas, we were not to go into Walmarts. If it was an attempt to send a message, and you were to do something like this, if you were to go and you were to say, I am not going to purchase anything from a Walmart, I am only going to buy from small businesses or locally owned businesses, I am not going to buy fuel from any of the major, oil, whatever. First of all, we can't organize that. It wouldn't happen. And I don't think that it would have the effect it would need to have on these companies. It wouldn't, they would see it, they would recognize it, and it wouldn't have an effect. Sadly, because we still have to power our homes with fuel. We still have to do all of that. And as much as I'd like to think that it's something we could, um because ultimately, let's see, so R1, maybe if we stop reacting to what non-government people say, they lose their power and will still eat their own. And R1, I don't disagree with you. The problem is that the when it comes to laws in this country, of course, the laws are written, and or okay, so our opinion, or what we believe is happening, is that the laws and those law or bills are being argued or debated on the floor, and that those bills are then being um, debated, voted on, and then sent over. The originator of so many of these bills isn't the Republican or the Democrat that's representing your district. These are bills that are being written by the lobbyists, and those lobbyists represent the corporations that those bills are designed to benefit the most. Sorry about the light. I don't know how it's just too bright out there. The sun's literally coming straight in my window. Um 1484 Mississippi law, making being an illegal immigrant caught a felony and life prison. I think you all might be having a different conversation. Let's see. The progressive antichrist Democrats clans are. It's weird that you would call the Democrats clans. That's interesting. Lies and lie spreaders. Y'all must be having a different conversation, because it doesn't. I think this is what I'm talking about is definitely something that is pretty much well known on both sides of the aisle. That as uh, we as the voting public, the electorate, we all know that bills are. I hope we all know that bills are very much being written by the lobbyists, and then the lobbyists that give the the Congress people the most money, or the best lunches, or the largest campaign donations, whatever. Those are the bills that those lobbyists uh, get pushed through the halls of Congress and up to a president to sign as a law. Um, that's how American laws work in this country. Is it? Woo, it's bright light. That's how these laws work. Yeah, you know what? I got to be honest. I still don't understand why we're having this Ukraine argument because the United States is, even under Donald Trump, the United States is still sending money or still sending goods. Whether it's the things they need to defend themselves, or whatever. But even under Donald Trump, that's still going on. It hasn't stopped. Um, just just so you know, it has not stopped, and it likely will not stop. Um, the farmers got all the money because of lobbyists, but Social Security can't be funded. Joe, I'm going to tell you right now, that is that is one of those things. Uh, I am dumbfounded by. Look, support our farmers, absolutely. Um, Social Security is paid into by us. We pay into Social Security, and if they take Social Security away, there will be hell to pay. That'll be a mistake. So, yeah, it's the corporate farmers. Those are the ones receiving the largest subsidies. Local farmers, small farmers, the ones that are selling this, they have a farm that they turn around and they go to the local farmers market to sell their products. They're not getting these subsidies. And now they're losing out on migrant workers who are not here illegally, but that are here as migrant workers in the United States to do these jobs and take that money back to their families. But local farmers are being impacted the most, and it'll work its way up to the corporate farms. But right now, we're already seeing across California that there are migrant workers that are unwilling to come to work because fear that there will be a raid and that they will get swept up in the raid, and it may take 2-3 weeks for them to get released. I don't know what to say. It doesn't have to be like this. There are things that we could do with our immigration services that would really resolve these problems. And if you think building a wall is what is necessary to fix it, then sure, build a wall. But ultimately, what it's going to come down to is technology, which a wall is the least technologically advanced of the whole possibility. Um, but sure, build a wall. Employ more border guard. How about improve the immigration services so that those that want to come here legally, we can actually make it a more speedily, that might not be a word. We can speed up the process. That we can have judges that can go through judges and the available system so that immigration doesn't take years. There's a backlog right now. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands in a backlog of people that are either seeking asylum or seeking a visa status so that they can be here in the United States. You know, I'm just saying, if it's just because they are illegal, then let's fix the system that's calling them illegal. Because this opinion that every single person wanting to come to the United States is some, not to use the president's term, but he said that Everybody in Mexico is a murderer, a drug dealer, a rapist, like literally all these things. This is his opinion of people from Mexico and countries south of the border. And the fact that you would assign those details to every single person. I've been to Mexico, I've been to Belize, I've been to Costa Rica. It's not who those people are. And I hate the idea that there are people here that go to church and say that they think everyone south of the border is some deviant. Like, where's your Christianity? Where's where's your sense of acceptance? You don't have it. It's gone. You wear your Christianity, you wear your Christ-like as a symbol for hate. You're doing it wrong. And if your pastor is getting up on there on that stage behind that podium or in that pulpit and telling you that it's okay to hate people you don't know, you don't you have not seen their character or watched how they behave, and you still have this right to believe that every person south of the border is a deviant. Man, that Bible that's sitting in that little tray in front of you has a lot of words in it, and not a single one of them says to act like that. You can't string any of it together to make it look like that. You're hating people you don't know. You have ultimately made the decision that you are just ingrained in the propaganda. And I hope you wake up. I hope you do. Because nobody wants you to live like this. Nobody wants you to have this constant sense of anger and hate, just walking around judging every single thing you see when you don't have to. It's got to be exhausting. Like how how is it that you are you constantly out of breath? I mean, I want to know. Do you literally walk around like if you dislike people that you know because of their actions and their behavior? I'm guilty. There are plenty of people that I avoid because I know who they are based on their behavior, based on the things they say, based on how they just present themselves. So I am guilty of not liking some people, but I know them. I know them, and that's what makes me not want to be around them. But you have chosen a life where you are constantly fighting a battle against people that don't likely even know you're fighting that battle against them. Like you're it, agreed, Shell. I don't want them here illegally. I want our system to work so that they can be here legally. The Democrats and the Republicans last year had a bill that had bipartisan support, that would have increased money for the border protection. We would have gotten something like 1,600 new border agents that would have been able to secure the border. Again, if you think that what we need is a wall to fix the border, then fine. Our Congress should approve that, and we should build a wall that will funnel people through it. But when those people are being funneled through specific places in that wall, there has to be a system in place so that they can make their status here legal. And that's what we don't have. We have a backlog of people that are so it's the backlog is so deep that there are people here that are not legal, not because their desire is to be here illegally, but it's because They can't get through the system. It's taking so damn long. That's the problem. And then they'll be here legally. But for you, Shell, what happens when they get here legally? Are you going to find another reason to think they shouldn't be here? I mean, I have neighbors that have been here for 60 years. They have been in the United States for 60 years. They joined the military, became citizens of this country, and there are still people that see them and immediately assume that they are here illegally because they don't know them. They one of them, after the military, after he fought in the Vietnam War for the United States, he became a professor of Spanish American studies at the university here in South Carolina. He did that for 30 years. He just retired at the age of 72. He's been an American citizen for more than 60 years. And people like you are still accusing him of being here illegally. That because his skin is a darker colored skin and he potentially still speaks Spanish because he was a professor of Spanish American studies at university. I just dumbfounded. I'm just dumbfounded. Shell, if you look into the statistics that ICE is currently providing, you will also find that they are yes, they are deporting people that are criminals. They will be deporting them. Uh, yes, you're absolutely right, and I agree with you. And those are the people that should not be here. But they're doing it indiscriminately. They are doing it for some that are without cause, and some of the people that are getting swept up into it, if they don't happen to have their diplomatic papers on them, like they're like, how would you feel if you had to ride around with your passport and your birth certificate all day, every day? That if you go to work and ICE makes a raid on the company and they're looking for people that look like you, and I know the answer is probably going to be, well, they're not looking for people like me, and that's sad, racist. But if if they do, just hypothetically speaking, if they did that and they came into your company and you didn't have your birth certificate and your passport and you got swept into it, some of them, it's going to be 2 and 3 weeks before things get cleared up enough where they get released from a tent camp before they can go home to their families, regardless of how much their families are trying to get them out. That's the problem, is it's being done so indiscriminately that there are people that are getting swept up in it. And because others know that that's what's happening, they're not going to work. So we have orange and apple groves in California. Those fruits, which make up 40% of the produce that is being shipped across the rest of the country, that agriculture, that those products are not going to be picked. They're going to fall to the ground and they're going to go bad. So we're going to have a food shortage. Celeste asked the question. She said, "I'm a brown American citizen, and I'm wondering if I need to carry my birth certificate and passport." Um, I don't think it's a bad idea. Oh, so Shell is now telling me that she has me muted, so she's not even listening. I don't know why she's on this channel if she's not listening. So, well, I've been doing this for 45 minutes now. I think good for you, Shell. I'm glad you have a job. I know she's not going to hear that, but maybe Paul Pelosi will tell her when she gets home that I told her to have a good day. Also, just to point out, Paul Pelosi doesn't have a boyfriend. Sorry. I know that that's one of those ridiculous things that um, it's one of those ridiculous things that some of the extremists on the right really love to talk about. But let's see, several states have sued the Trump administration over immigration as tanking their business and the economy. And yeah, and they have the right to do that. So Idaho Tesla girl, she said people with asylum claim and migrant workers with visas are not being swept up in it. I assume that's what you're saying because you didn't finish the sentence. But so that is correct as long as they have their paperwork on them during a raid. If they don't have their paperwork on them, then what they have to have is the ability to communicate outside of the system in order for someone to get them their paperwork, to get that to them so that they can be released. And that's part of the problem is that under this administration's plan, um, you aren't automatically allowed a phone call. Uh, that's Think of all the rights that you would expect if you were arrested. You get a phone call, you get the right to an attorney, you get all that. That is not really in place for this. And that's one of the important things to remember is that basically any rules of the of considerations, anything like that, the benefit of the doubt, it's all gone in this system. So that's just something to think about. And for those of you that voted for this is what you wanted, and this is what you have now. You voted. This is exactly what you voted for because somewhere you knew this is what was going to happen. This was how it was going to be, and ultimately, I'll just say congratulations to you. Um, you know, I don't know what else to say. This is this is the environment. This is essentially what you wanted, and now you've got it. Um, I'm disappointed that it hasn't had that it doesn't have an effect on you in the way that like it hasn't had a human effect on you. But you can't force those things. You can't force people to be kind. You can't force people to be friendly. You can only ask if they do. And this is where we're at. And not going to speculate. Not going to say it's going to get worse. Going to hope for the best and that things improve. But I don't. I don't know how to make it improve. Uh, let's see. You know what, Paul Pelosi's boyfriend. Really appreciate you coming around. But I think if I can figure out how to do this, I think we're done with you. You're I don't. But in truth, I don't really know how to make all that happen. So thanks for stopping by. All right. I hope you all have a good Saturday. And yeah, I should get a moderator. I appreciate that. Um, I'm sorry, I'm just reading through the comments now. Good night. There's some unhinged lunatics. There's some serious there. Holy cow. Oh my gosh. What in the world? People. Valerie, if you're still here, I appreciate that. Yeah, no, they don't make me crazy. I think ultimately I'm just disappointed. Because I think a lot of these people on here would probably say that they consider themselves to be Christians, and that they consider themselves to be as Christ-like as possible, which is completely the opposite of what you know. I will just say it. Our podcast, both Zach and I consider ourselves to be non-religious affiliated, not necessarily atheist, because atheist is just a made up word for something you don't believe in. I don't believe in, let's see, I don't believe in fairies. I don't believe in leprechauns, but there's no word to describe people that don't believe in leprechauns. There's only a word to describe people that don't believe in this omnipotent being that has the potential to crush you with his foot if he wishes. I do believe there was a Jesus Christ. I do believe that there was an individual who fought against the system, but whether it was the Jewish um, system or it was the Romans, I do believe there was an individual who tried to that tried to make a make it, or to help push a society into a situation where they were good people to everyone, whether they were rich or poor, the mighty or the meek. I do believe in that. Did he have superpowers? That's the part. That's the part that I think I have a hard time wrapping my head around, because um, uh, that I don't think that Jesus Christ would want to be described as having superpowers, because ultimately he didn't want to make himself better than everyone else, and that's one of my hangups, is that ultimately uh, I just don't think that he would want a world of people that based on what he taught, based on what's in the Bible, the words that he used. I just don't think that he would want people to recognize Jesus as being better than everyone else. Uh, that's the part where I get lost. So anyway, um, just reading the comments again. No, they say, Valerie, they say they follow Jesus. I tell you what, I'm going to stay on TikTok. I'm going to wrap it up here. This has been the All About Nothing podcast, kind of daily show. If you do me a favor, please go to our website, theallaboutnothing.com. You can follow us on all the social media. We're really trying to get our Instagram and our YouTube pages subscriptions up, follows. So if you could do that, because one day there's a possibility TikTok may not be here. Hope that doesn't happen, but if it does, we'd really appreciate it. The follows. Also, subscribe to the show wherever you listen. You can find links to all the podcast platforms on our website as well, theallaboutnothing.com. And you can even find links to some of our merchandise, T-shirts, or whatever, any memberships that give you early access to shows, as well as exclusive content that we publish. So just if you get an opportunity, please do that. We love to have you as a subscriber. So thank you, everybody. You all stay safe, be kind, and keep your hands to yourself.